Alright, so in this video, I'm basically going to go over how to dominate your local market. So if you're a local service business, this is going to be a blueprint to dominate basically your local market on Google My Business, on Google General, so on search engines in general, and basically how to optimize all these things. Give you an overview of what you can do to grow and scale your service business online. So first thing I want to mention here, if you're new to these videos, is basically this whole funnel and how this basically blueprint can apply to your business. So first thing here we have is how to get more leads to notice your business. So these are all the different ways you could do so. We're going to talk about search engine results and Google My Business and how to optimize those to get more people to notice your business. Then when they notice your business, they end up informing themselves, meaning they go check you out. So they're going to check out your website, they're going to check out your online reputation and your content. So in your local market, if you're trying to optimize and try to dominate in your local market, meaning you're trying to be better than your competitors, well, you might want to include, optimizations as well in here, because it's good enough. It's good that you get more leads. So more leads you get, the more attention you're getting to your business. But for most local service businesses, people are checking out multiple competitors. They're going to check out you. They're going to check out the 2 or 3 other guys in your market, and they're going to do comparison with them. And so if you are trying to compete against them, you're trying to perform better, well, optimizing your website, having a better website than theirs, having a more enticing offer than theirs, it's going to higher the likelihood that they actually end up being clients with you instead of them. So if you do all the effort to get more leads to notice your business and go on your website, you want to maybe get the effort, do the effort to get them to contact you, to increase the likelihood they contact you. Now, when they contact you, you have some optimizations you could do there. So in terms of sales cycle, you improve your inquiries, your appointments, even walk-ins, you could do some things. In any case, we're not going to be talking about these in this video. This is more about getting people within your funnel, not more about optimizing it. And then you have all the rest here of how to optimize your service business there. Now, what I'm going to use for this video as a guide or as a representation of what we could do, 2 things. Number 1 is going to be the checklist. So we have a checklist basically covering the best ways you could optimize your service business, meaning your SEO and your Google My Business, to rank higher and basically beat your competition there. And as well as we have, an action priority list here, but I also have here a list of the top ranking factors for local ranking factors. This is something I found from Whitespark, so I can't take credit from this. This is not, I didn't create this. Whitespark is a company that deals with local service businesses and helps them out. And what basically they did is they asked a bunch of SEO experts to rank order the most important ranking factors for service businesses from top to worst. And so this is what they were able to decipher after voting everyone together of what was best. So in terms of local organic ranking factors, so if you're trying to rank better than competitors, you're going to want to apply all these strategies basically. But that being said, in this video, we're just going to cover the top 10 maybe. In terms of local Google My Business, to try to rank that higher, then you got these 10 here. And then after that, you got some other conversion factors and so on. But in this video, we're more going to cover basically how to rank higher. So how to compete in that sense. Then I'm going to make some more videos in the future, and I have some on my YouTube channel about how to optimize your website, how to optimize your sales cycle, all that to basically get you more leads, more of those leads to actually end up being clients. So let's get into the video. So let's into the gist of the video. Let's go to the local ranking factors. So that's if you're trying to rank in your local market for certain keywords. First thing you're going to want to do is have a dedicated page for each service. What does that mean? And this is something we used for our clients in the past. You want to have, if you're a service business, meaning you're, let's say, a contractor. So let me just give you an example here. Let me take this. It's going to be easier to show. So let's say you're a contractor, you're a roofing company. And if you're a roofing company, maybe your service is roofing. Now, what you might have under this is going to be you're doing residential roofing, and then you might have commercial roofing. But within commercial, you might have institutional roofing, and then you might have industrial. And there you go. And then after that, same thing for residential. You might be doing flat roofs. You might be doing, flat roofing. You might be doing slanted roofing. I'm going to stop here this example, but you might be doing all these services here. And so what you can do is basically you create a page dedicated to every single one of the services you offer. So now if you're this example, roofing company, but whatever type of local service business you have, you could create a page dedicated to roofing. You could create a page dedicated to residential roofing, could dedicate a page to commercial roofing, one to flat commercial residential roofing, slanted residential roofing, institutional commercial roofing, industrial commercial roofing, and all the other sub categories you might have. So if you do the whole tree, this might be 50 services. It's better to have 50. And the reason is that Google kind of decides, the way Google in a sense works, or the algorithm works, is that they're going to see your website and they're going to see the information on it, the content on it. If the content is highly targeted to what the person is searching, so if I'm a searcher on Google and I say residential roofing NYC, well, if I have a page on my website that just says roofing NYC, that's less precisely what the person is looking for than if I have a page dedicated to residential roofing NYC. And so if Google is trying to get more people to engage with their profiles, they're trying to get people the best information possible. What they want is that they want that person to go to the page that is more likely to give them the result they want. Basically, they want to make the person as happy as possible to engage with Google. So if you think about it this way, well, the more accurate your page is to what they're searching for, the more likely you are to get that lead, and the more likely Google is going to rank you higher. And so having a page dedicated for each service basically comes down to the idea that if you're offering these 10 services, 50 services, people are searching for these as well. So the search term of that service is going to be residential roofing, and you want a page dedicated to that. Commercial roofing, a page dedicated to that. And what does that mean after that in more detail? That's going to be your title tags, your meta descriptions, your H1, H2, H3 header tags, your URL. You want to optimize for that keyword. You want your content to be repetitive. You want links to it. You want internal links to link with that keyword. So all these advanced SEO strategies as well, but basically said what you want is a page for every single service. I would even argue, and I don't believe they have it written in this top 10, but you want a dedicated page to even every location you have, and even every service in every location. So if you have the main 5 areas you're working in, you want every single one of those services to be dedicated to that page as well. So let's say you're saying roofing NYC, you want roofing in Brooklyn, roofing Bronx, roofing Queens, roofing whatever, all the boroughs. So that's something to keep in mind. Then you want to internal link across the entire website. So this is basically going to be every single page in your website to link to each other. So no page that's kind of naked or alone. That's just going to help Google in general to rank every single thing. And basically, if you can imagine the power, the Google, if you could say the link juice, you basically want it to flow around your whole website. So you want your whole website to get connected to every single other aspect, and that just makes it flow better. It tends to rank you higher on Google. How much is it? I don't know. What percentage does it help? I don't know. All this does is just gives us an idea of what the top SEO experts have as an opinion of what is best. Then you want number 3, quality/authority of inbound links to domains. So how high the quality and authority of those inbound links. So that's an SEO strategy, basically getting other websites to link to you. That means maybe blog articles, newspapers, or like online newspapers linking to you. The better they are, the higher quality they are, the better it is for you to rank online on Google. If you have a bunch of sketchy sites, a bunch of bad sites, a bunch of bad reputation sites, that's going to lead you to potentially have a lower ranking. You can think about it this way. Google wants, if the more popular you are, the better you are in terms of your reputation, the better Google's going to assign you. It's going to assign you a better spot. And so if you're not reputable because you have all these negative sources coming to you, Google's going to consider you as a bad egg, and they're not going to put you up in rankings. Gist of it. There's more nuance to this, I know, but just to make the ideas clear. Number 4, geographic, city/neighborhood, keyword relevance of domain content. So basically having all the content within your website to have city/neighborhood relevance. So if you're trying to rank locally, this is going to be important. If you're not a local service business, this is not going to apply to you. But if you're trying to rank locally, you basically want to mention, like I was saying, you could create a page for every single the region you serve, or you also want to have it within maybe your homepage, your about us page, your contact page, whatever, relevance to the main cities you serve. And so mentioning those, having those in your title tags, your meta descriptions, your URLs, that's going to help a lot with ranking factors, because Google's going to recognize you. Because if you think about it this way, how does Google know that your website is in that region, or your website serves people in that region? Why doesn't it recommend you in the other side of the country? Well, because you have these keywords as well as other factors, but you have these keywords that mention to Google you are in this region. And so they'll be able to target those people that are in your local area compared to those that are 50 kilometers away, 100 kilometers away, and on the other side of the continent. So that's going to be that. Then your keywords in Google My Business landing page title. So this is going to be relevant to your Google My Business. So if you have a Google My Business and it has a link to your website, that page is going to be the landing page of your Google My Business. You want keywords, you want proper keywords to be there, and you want the keywords that are relevant to your Google My Business profile so that they connect and they make sense to one another. Again, how specifically is that to be made? Like, what does that actually mean? Difficult to say, but keywords of your title, of your description, or whatever, what represents your business on Google My Business needs to be similar to what it means on your website, so that they have congruency and that can help you rank higher. Quantity of inbound links to domain from locally relevant domains. So again, we were talking about before the quality/authority of the inbound links. Now we're talking about the quantity. So the more the better. Obviously, again, you want to keep a certain quality authority score. What is that score? What is good? What is bad? I would say anything that's illegal, anything that's not reputable in any way, like that has any infringement upon it, don't touch it. I would recommend that. And then the best would be if you could get all those news articles or those blog posts, those famous blog posts in your area. That would be the best for you to rank higher. Now, it's going to be that. Then you've got topical product/service keyword relevance across entire website. So you basically share your products and services across the entire website. That's going to help you rank higher for those keywords. So basically, this is going to be keyword mixing all these keywords across all the pages so that Google recognizes all these pages as being valuable to the client for that service. Volume of quality content on service pages. So how much content you have on these service pages. The rule of thumb, I believe, for content is at minimum 1,900 words. Again, depends. Is it really 1,900 words? Can it be less? Can it be more? Just the more content you have, the more Google has information about your business and what it does. And so the better you could express this, the more information you can put tends to help you rank higher on search engines. Volume of quality content on entire website. So we're talking about service pages, but this is going to be the same case for the entire website. I don't even think these two need to be differentiated. This can be the same thing. Keywords and anchor text of inbound links to domain. Basically, if you're getting inbound links, meaning other businesses are linking to you, what are the keywords that they're using to link to you? Meaning that if they're saying in their blog, like you're getting a link from a blog, in that blog they say roofing company ABC, and they link through that word, roofing company ABC, there's a clickable link on that. You want that to be the keywords that you're trying to rank for. And so if you're getting these links from these other places, you're paying for those, you want them to have those keywords within it. Now there's strategies about link building SEO that are more complex. You have to make sure that you have certain ratios of keywords and non-keywords, so it's difficult to say exactly how much. We have a training covering this more in depth, so we have a link building SEO training, basically shares with you exactly what are the types of backlinks you could get and which ones you should use with keywords and which ones you shouldn't. Basically said, if you're not doing any extensive backlink strategy, you're just trying to get some backlinks to your website, the best thing would be to go to the top people or the top places, the top websites you're trying to rank from and or link from, and you should use your best keywords there. So the keywords you're trying to rank most for, those are going to be good enough for most people, 99% of people. So that's going to be the local organic ranking factors. Obviously there's more, but I just want to go over the top 10. Now for Google My Business, we're going to cover this here. So for your Google My Business, let me just go back to the Omar board just to give another example. So leads can notice your business on Google My Business. Now the beauty of your GNB profile is that it acts as a review site. It acts as a search engine result. It shows up on search engines. It acts as a map. It acts as a directory. And it also acts as a place where people could check out your online reputation because it's a review site. So it has multiple effects on your business. And so optimizing it is not just to rank higher on Google My Business. Meaning, if you get a better Google My Business because you optimize it with these strategies we're going to talk about, you rank higher. Okay, perfect, you rank higher. But the better it's optimized, the better it appears, the higher your conversion rate is as well. So maybe you have 1,000 people noticing your Google My Business. Now, from that 1,000 people, you have 3% of them contacting you. Now you're able to improve it. Now you have 4% of them contacting you. So you go from 30 people to 40 people. So you see how there's ranking higher, there's also conversions. And so those two elements you want to take into consideration when you do Google My Business. Now, third thing is going to be your reviews. Having more reviews is going to help your online reputation, and that's going to higher the likelihood that people are going to end up contacting you. Not only just converting on your Google My Business, but that when they get on the website, they actually end up calling you. Instead of just, you get your conversion rate from Google My Business to your website is high, but then from your website to a call is low. Well, having reviews, having a bunch of reviews, good quality reviews, it's going to lead you to a higher conversion there. So there's a lot of value in a Google My Business and getting a bunch of reviews and ranking higher and so on and so forth. It gives like a snowball effect into the rest of your business. Also helps you on search engine rankings and so on and so forth. So primary thing you want to focus on is going to be Google My Business for your local service businesses. Now, in terms of how to rank higher, your primary Google My Business category is going to determine, in this case, this is what they're saying, the highest impact of what's going to happen to Google My Business. You want your primary category to be related, to be the one that they suggest, so Google My Business suggests, so one of the suggested ones. You don't want to create one, and you want to use the one that's most relative to your business. That's going to have the largest effect, because if you use a different category and people are searching for keywords for your business, they might not find it. So you want to take the broadest, you could say the broadest recommendation that they have that applies to your business, and that's going to tend to give you the best rankings. If you do this wrong, if you use something that you used on your because this is the issue here. So let's say if you're a roofing company, they're probably going to ask you, okay, are you a roofing contractor? They're going to suggest you that. If that's the case, you say yes, and that's roofing contractor for you. Now, if you decided because you're a specialty roofing contractor, you say I'm a roofing contractor for metal buildings or for metal roofs, and then you write your own category as being roofing contractor, metal roofing, that's going to have a bad effect on your rankings and showings, because Google's going to recognize you as just being that or slightly being the rest. And so if you consider yourself a roofing contractor, and even if you don't just do roofs, all kinds of roofs, you are specialized, in Google's eyes, it's good for you to have a broad appearance, and that's going to help you rank higher for even your own keywords. Now, keywords in Google My Business profile title. An issue with this is that your title, basically in terms of Google's guidelines, should be your business name, and that's it. It should not have any other information, should not have keywords in it, should not have your region in it, should not have any other information than your business name. And so if you do anything else that is against Google's guidelines, it could potentially get you deranked or suspended and so on. Now, the thing is, it's the number 2 ranking factor. And so that's up to you to make that judgment call. Is it worth the risk? Is it not worth the risk? Do I want to respect Google's guidelines? That's not going to be my decision to make. In any case, with the businesses we work with, we never test this out. We never mess with this, because if you're in a competitive market, people are going to report you. They're going to see that, they're going to report you, and that really has a strong negative effect to your business. One thing you can do though is you could change your legal name, your legal business name, to a name that has a bunch of keywords in it, and that's going to help you rank on Google, because now you're going to be legitimately named that business. There's also other tricks, like if you have your business, it's a physical business, you could change the name in the front of your business in the store, and if you show that to Google, then they're going to recognize you as being a legitimate business. I'm not sure if this is going to still be applicable now with AI and all the faking that can happen, but that's what used to be the case. So I believe you had to do a video interior of your business and so on and so forth. Number 3, proximity of address to the point of search. So search your business distance. So how close are you to where people are searching? Now, the issue with that is that you want to have your Google My Business located at your address, because they're not going to let you get a Google My Business profile otherwise. But the thing is that if you have 3 offices, you have 3 locations, or you have 3 places where you do the same business at, you want the one that's closest to where people are searching you for. Now, if you have 3, you could create 3. So it's better for you to just create 3. But in any case, you want to be as close to the central point. What people do, this is another strategy, is they rent out an office where they do minimal work there, or they do other type of work there, and that's closest to their addressable market, and that's where they pin themselves to rank for. Now, this is going to apply to service businesses that are doing their services where you have to move to them and they don't have to move to you. If you're a restaurant, a hair salon, this doesn't make sense, because people are coming to you, and so you want your address to be your real address, or at least you want your address to point to where you're doing business. Now, if you're a roofing contractor, maybe you have your main office that's 50 kilometers away from 30 kilometers or 20 kilometers away from your main service area. And if that's the case, then you might be interested in having an office that's downtown, where you could get the most leads, and that's where you're going to get the most traction for your Google My Business profile. That's going to be that. Physical address in city of search. Quite frankly, I've seen this before. I don't understand exactly what they mean. Maybe in the comments you could clarify it for me, you could help me out. But physical address and city of search, basically I would say this is going to be the same thing. You can't really change the address or the city. Anyways. Number 5, removal of spam listings through spam fighting. What you could do is that if you see your competitors doing things like I was saying, like the title, and that's against Google's guidelines, you could basically get them removed. So you could report them, you could push the reportings, and you can potentially get them removed, and then you're going to be able to rank higher, because if they're number 2 spot, you're at number 3. Well, now do you remove number 2? Now you're number 2, and so that increases the likelihood you get conversions and visitors and so on and so forth. That's going to be that for that. Then your high numerical Google rating. They say 4 to 5, but what I've noticed and what I've seen with the stats is that 4.9 is the best. 4.7 to 4.9 is the best Google rating. And then it kind of, I have a chart in the Google My Business training, but in any case, if you could imagine it this way, 5 stars here, 4.9 stars better in terms of conversion rate, like this is conversion rates. 5 stars here, 4.9 is here, 4.8 is here, 4.7 is here, and then there's a significant decrease at 4.6, 4.5, 4.2, and so on. So a 4.9 rating out of 5 stars is actually better than a 5, just because I believe this is my assumption, but yeah, people when they see 5 stars, they don't trust it as much, and so there's a lot less, they're less likely to contact them because they're going to think the reviews are fake. But 4.9 is more true because you have some negative ones, but you're the best. So 4.9, 4.7, 4.8 is the target, and the reason why you want to do this is for conversions as well as rankings. So they're saying here for rankings, but I've noticed it for conversions as well. The better rating you have, the more likely people are going to contact you, the more helpful they're going to be in the call, the more likely they're going to close, and so on and so forth. So very important to get a 4.8, 4.9 rating out of 5. Additional Google My Business categories, you have the option with your primary one to add other ones. You want to basically add every single one that you can, that you have, that they recommend. And then you want to add your personal ones, like I was saying before, the ones that are more relative to your business, more niche, then you want to add those as well. So you have the opportunity to add both. So it's not like you're stuck with this one. It's just that this one you want it to make as broad as possible, so Google pushes you in a bunch of places. Then quantity of native Google reviews with text, I would say even with images, but the amount of reviews you have has a correlation to your ranking. And this is what it expresses here. So but more reviews you have, better reviews you have, just ask every single person you have for reviews. This is the number one tip we ask all the clients to do. The number one thing we ask them to do: get more reviews. The more reviews you have, the better you look online, the more reputation you have, the higher you rank on Google, the more conversions you have, the better your website performs, the better your close rate, the better your show up rate. Like everything is better when you have more reviews. Verify Google My Business profile. So that's basically, if you haven't done this yet, you just go on it, you check if you're verified or not. There's softwares out there, free softwares. You could just say, am I verified on Google? And you check if you are. If you are, if you aren't, you claim it. If you are, then you are. Proximity of address to Centroid. So this is going to be the same thing, I would say, to the proximity of address to the point of search. Search or business distance. Proximity address to Central, so basically the center of the city you're targeting. Basically going to come out to the same principle. If your address is your address, you put it there. If you could have multiple offices, that's what you want to play around with it. So those are going to be the basic top 20 ways, in a sense, of how to improve your presence online, how to rank higher on Google and Google Maps, so that you could perform better than your competitors. Now, this is how to get more leads. Now we have also videos covering how to get more conversions. So if you got all these leads, you've applied all these strategies, and now you're getting a bunch of people to your website. Well, now how do you get more of them to end up contacting you? And when they contact you, how do you get more of them to actually end up purchasing something from you? So that's going to be pretty much it for this video. If you want to download our trainings, we have those 12 trainings that I just talked about before. We have one on Google My Business. We have some on SEO. This is going to be free for you to download in the description below. They basically have a checklist. They have more information, more in depth. They teach you how. They have graphics. They have explanations. They have comparison charts and so on. So you can use those to better fit your business's needs. If you want to work with us, Vizions Digital, we're an agency that works specifically with local service businesses. We apply the tricks that we talked about today in this video. We apply a bunch of others to try to rank you higher on Google, rank you higher on Google Maps, get you a higher conversion rate, get you a higher close rate, higher show up rate. Basically, everything we talk about in these videos, we do at certain levels. So if you're a business that's doing maybe over $4 million a year, we have services for you. We prefer to work with businesses that are doing that, just because a 10% boost in Google My Business to a business that size is significant, and there's all these strategies that we can work with that value the most. But if you're under that and you're still looking to work with us, we're more than happy to see your case and see if we can help you. There's a bunch of different optimizations. We could do different offers. We could offer you lower ticket offers, medium ticket, and higher ticket offers. That's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.